thing I love the most about basketball is just playing with my teammates, being able to compete at a high level, and just express like my passion and my competitive nature. I think the biggest example was like on the defensive end, honestly, just like the tenacity that I play with and just getting stops and steals, and also playing like for my teammates. I've been playing with this team the last 3 or 4 years, so playing with and seeing success with my teammates, getting assists, getting buckets and stuff is just overall like the whole game. It's just a beautiful game. It's so much fun to play. So, big moment that I really enjoyed was probably the Jesuit game. Beating Jesuit at Jesuit. It's obviously our rival, so getting that tough win over there was super fun. And the crowd was a great environment to play in. And then also going to California and staying in the Airbnb with all the guys, that was just a great team bonding moment. And the win itself too, because we were down by probably 10, and then Isaac got out, and so we ended up coming back and winning the game, and everyone played big. So.
It's all of us have to be ready to go tonight. Urgency, desperation. One game, we get to the next game. Nothing else matters except for today. Everybody got it? All right, hey, love you guys.
I think my first why is probably because my parents, like they put so much effort financially, both and just like time-wise. Like they've committed so much time to both me and my 2 brothers for sports in general, but for me specifically basketball. So that's my first why, is just I'm playing for them. I'm playing for my family, my grandparents. They all play, they all support me, and so by doing that, it's a great feeling. And then I also play for my teammates too, like in my coaching staff. People look up to me, and people, they love me. And so by playing basketball in that way and showing that passion that I have and finding success on the court, I think that's another reason why I love to play so much, aside from the game itself. I think one big sacrifice is taking care of your body, meaning like after stretching or before stretching, foam rolling, getting in the ice tub, getting good sleep. Like that's something that sometimes I don't feel like doing after practice or something, but I think it makes a big difference, because once I get my body right, like I can play at the highest level. But I remember back when I played like JV my freshman year, I wouldn't take care of my body and I would get dumb injuries, and it really took away from me playing on the court. So like sacrificing your body in a way by taking care of it in that sense, taking care of like your mental health, I think that's huge, just because there's so many things, like if my mind gets fogged or whatever, then it affects my play on the court. Yeah, the first thing I do, every morning, every night, I always pray. I'm Catholic, so I pray every morning with scripture, but it's also a form of meditation too, just connecting myself with my spirit and with God. So that's something I do in the morning and at night. But basketball-wise, like before practice, I'll always spend time stretching or doing like some sort of yoga stretches and things like that, and also breathing exercises. So that helps me kind of like find clarity and peace, and just it relieves my stress before games and stuff. So especially during the national anthem, that's something that Gary Strong, one of my mentors who comes to all my games, he really introduced to me the value of breathing, like taking deep breaths before games and during the national anthem, just to settle my nerves and stuff. So doing that really helps me stay in the present moment and just get ready for the game. Yeah, I always close my eyes, put my hand over my heart, and just breathe. Just take like 5 seconds deep, and then like 6 to 7 seconds out. So it just controls my heartbeat, and then I just get even more locked into the game. I would say like the biggest thing about playing for Central is the community around it. Like all the parents really love me and our team, and we have a really good alumni support. And so for playing for that team, and also just because I have a lot of family roots. My brother went here, my dad, my grandpa, like a lot of my family members have all gone to Central. And so for playing for Central Catholic, a team that my dad used to play on, it's like it runs in the family, so it's a little deeper for me, you know. And then obviously the coaching staff, they put so much time and effort into this team. Blues, man, he makes so many sacrifices. He loves his team, so for playing for a coach that loves his players and is so committed to them, it makes it even more special. Yeah, I think the biggest challenge for me was just putting aside my ego. Coming into freshman year, I kind of had this mindset of like, oh, I'm going to be the guy, you know, but that's just not the case, because when you play on such a great team, it's like you got so much talent, you kind of have to put that aside and play for each other. And so that was kind of my first biggest struggle, was just like kind of taking myself off the pedestal and realizing like, yeah, this isn't just all about me. I could have gone to a different school up in Vancouver, like, and played and been the guy and scored 20, 25 or whatever, but coming to a team like this, it realized the biggest struggle for me at first, probably my junior year or sophomore year, was like realizing I'm not the main guy, you know, and so kind of playing for each other. That was probably the first biggest struggle. And then the second one was probably playing time, you know, because it's fluctuated throughout my junior and senior year, going from starting my sophomore year and then getting taken out my junior year and then going back on, and the same thing even a little bit this year. It's like I feel like I handled it much better this year, but going through that kind of adversity was tough for me, but I think I've been able to handle it well, where I'll be set for later on in life. I try not to think of it as personal. I try not to think of it like, as I've used to put myself as the victim, like, oh, I'm being victimized, but every time I did that, it just made me more jealous and more envy of everyone else who was playing, you know? And so by not saying, oh, this is all about me, I kind of make it about the team. And so by doing that, it, one, takes pressure off of me and makes me not feel so self-centered and so self-absorbed. And by doing that, I honestly play way better, because it takes the pressure off myself, and then I'm actually able to play how I always play, you know, play for others. And so, yeah, I just try not to play the victim and complain. And I feel like I did a good job this year, and it really worked out, so. I think the challenge of being the number one seed in a way is that you got everything to lose versus being like an 8 seed that we were last year, where we really had nothing to lose. And also the challenge of looking ahead and kind of overlooking certain teams, which is something that can be really dangerous. We're obviously playing the 8 seed Jesuit, and just because they're 8 doesn't mean that they're not good. And so I think for us, we just got to worry about one game at a time, and just like locking in on one game. Just because we're the 1 seed doesn't mean that we're automatically going to beat a team. All it takes is one bad play or one bad possession for our season to be over. So we can't overlook anything. Realizing that you got to play for each other, and that being a leader doesn't mean you're always the one talking, but it's leading through your actions, doing what's on the court. So by doing that, I can translate it to off the court as well, because being a leader requires you to be a good listener. And so for me, I have to be able to listen to my coaches and listen to obviously my teammates. And so being perceptive in that way of understanding like my teammates' emotions and things like that, I feel like that translates to being a good leader just in society in general. Whether it's family or other relationships and things like that, and then also sacrifice, because the team there's 5 guys on the court, it's not just you. And so I feel like that applies to almost every other aspect, whether it's in school or family or job or whatever, like sacrificing your time, sacrificing, If I were to give advice to kids that were much younger, I'd probably say just stay consistent. Don't try to, it takes step by step. It's a gradual process. You can't just go from 0 to hero. And so for me, in the position that I'm at and seeing that there's so many people looking up to me, I used to be a freshman and a sophomore that wasn't getting much attention, but it's just a process, and so you just got to keep working. And so by being consistent, obviously the work's going to show out on the court.